Sometimes life feels like a loop, repeating the same painful mistakes, attracting the same draining people, falling into the same self-sabotaging habits. You promise yourself things will change, but somehow the same patterns pull you back in. This is not a curse or bad luck. It's a reflection of the deep, unseen scripts running inside you. These patterns are born from your wounds, fears, and unconscious beliefs, and until you face them with honesty and courage, they will keep replaying. But the moment you become aware, the moment you choose to stop running, the cycle begins to break. You break free when you face and heal your emotional wounds. Patterns are rarely just habits. They are survival mechanisms born from pain. Somewhere in your past, you experienced moments of hurt, rejection, betrayal, or fear, and those moments left wounds inside you. Instead of healing, most people cover those wounds with defense mechanisms, like anger, withdrawal, people-pleasing, control, or avoidance. These defenses then harden into patterns that play on repeat in relationships, work, and everyday life. The real reason patterns feel impossible to break is because they are not just behaviors, they are emotional scars trying to protect you from being hurt again. But protection comes at a price. The very patterns that once kept you safe are the same ones that now keep you stuck. They keep you locked in the past, reacting to life not as it is, but as it once was. You may avoid deep relationships because of an old wound of betrayal. You may overwork yourself because of a wound of feeling unworthy. You may sabotage your happiness because deep down you believe you don't deserve it. These behaviors are not random. They are echoes of pain that was never fully felt or understood. Healing begins the moment you stop running from your wounds. It starts when you stop pretending you're fine, stop numbing yourself with distractions, and stop blaming the world for your inner emptiness. Facing your wounds means allowing yourself to feel what you once couldn't bear to feel, the sadness, the fear, the anger, the grief. It means giving yourself permission to sit with those emotions without rushing to fix them, numb them, or escape them. This kind of honesty is painful, but it's also powerful, because what you feel fully, you heal. Avoiding your wounds keeps them alive. The energy you spend avoiding pain only gives it more control over you. But when you face it head-on, you take your power back. You realize that the pain you've been so afraid of is not as terrifying as you imagined. In fact, feeling it is what sets you free. Your wounds are not your enemy. They are messages from your past, asking to be heard, understood, and finally released. Healing your emotional wounds also means letting go of the false beliefs that formed around them. Wounds often leave behind silent lies. I'm not enough. I'll always be alone. I can't trust anyone. I'm unlovable. These beliefs sink deep into your subconscious and quietly shape your choices. Facing your wounds allows you to question these beliefs, to see where they came from, and to realize they are not the truth about you. They are the story pain wrote, and you have the power to rewrite it. No one else can do this work for you. No relationship, achievement, or success will heal a wound you refuse to face. Healing is an inside job. It requires courage, the courage to be vulnerable, to confront your own heart, and to sit in the discomfort of your deepest fears. But this courage changes everything. It dismantles the patterns that have ruled your life for so long and opens the door to new ways of living, loving, and being. When you heal your wounds, you stop needing patterns to protect you. You stop attracting situations and people who trigger your old pain because the energy that held those patterns in place is gone. You start living from a place of wholeness, not fear. And that wholeness is what finally sets you free. Healing your wounds isn't just about feeling better. It's about reclaiming your life from the grip of your past. You break free when you stop blaming others and take responsibility for your life. As long as you believe that your problems are caused entirely by other people, your past, or the world around you, you hand over your power without even realizing it. Blame feels comforting in the short term because it allows you to avoid discomfort, shame, or the fear of facing your own patterns. It creates the illusion that you are innocent and life is unfair. But that illusion becomes a trap. When you blame others, you wait for them to change before you believe you can be free, and most of the time, they never do. Blame is a way of staying stuck. It keeps you locked in a victim mindset, where life is something that happens to you, not something you are shaping every moment. You replay stories of how others wronged you, how you were misunderstood, abandoned, or betrayed, and while those stories may be based on real pain, clinging to them prevents you from stepping into your power. It blinds you to the role you played, the choices you made, and the patterns you repeated. Taking responsibility doesn't mean excusing the wrong others did. It means owning the parts of your life you can control, your reactions, your decisions, your boundaries. When you take responsibility, You stop giving your energy to blame and start using it for change. You begin asking different questions. Instead of "Why did this happen to me?" you ask, "What part of me allowed this to continue?" Instead of "Why are people always hurting me?" you ask, "Why do I stay where I am not respected?" These questions break open the hidden patterns you've lived by and shift your focus from what others have done to what you can do now. That shift is where your freedom begins. Responsibility is an act of inner maturity. It means accepting that while you may not control what others do, you always control how you respond. You control whether you stay in harmful situations, whether you enforce your boundaries, whether you keep repeating the same mistakes. This mindset transforms you from someone waiting for life to change into someone actively shaping your reality. It's the difference between feeling powerless and realizing you have more power than you ever believed. Taking responsibility also dissolves the bitterness that blame creates. When you blame others, you carry anger, resentment, and frustration, emotions that drain you and keep you emotionally tied to the very people you resent. But when you own your role, those emotions lose their grip. You stop wasting energy on blame and start investing it in healing, growth, and new possibilities. You free yourself not just from the toxic person or situation, but from the emotional chains that kept you connected to them. This shift requires brutal honesty with yourself. You have to be willing to look at your choices without excuses, to see where you ignored red flags, where you stayed silent, where you sought validation in the wrong places. This isn't about self-blame, it's about self-awareness. You begin to see how your fears, insecurities, or unhealed wounds shaped your decisions, and with that awareness comes the power to choose differently next time. Taking responsibility doesn't happen once. It's a daily practice. It's a decision to stop pointing fingers and start looking within. It's a commitment to own your life, every mistake, every choice, every opportunity for growth. And in that ownership, you discover the quiet strength that blame will never give you. You realize you are not a victim of your story. You are the author of it. The more you embrace this truth, the more the old patterns begin to fade. You stop living in reaction and start living in creation, and that is how you finally break free. You break free when you create new conscious habits that align with your true self. Patterns are powerful because they are familiar. They have been repeated so often that they become automatic, like a script you follow without thinking. Even when you realize a pattern is hurting you, awareness alone is not enough. If you don't replace it with something new, your mind and emotions will slip back into the old ways the moment life gets difficult. Real freedom comes when you not only break an old pattern, but also consciously build new habits that reflect who you truly want to become. Every habit you repeat is like casting a vote for the person you believe you are. The more you act in alignment with your fear, your wounds, or your past, the stronger those patterns grow. But the same is true for conscious habits. Each time you choose differently, even in a small way, you are teaching your mind and heart a new story. You are rewiring yourself for growth, peace, and authenticity. Change doesn't come from one big breakthrough moment. It comes from daily decisions, made with intention, repeated over time until the new way becomes your natural way. Creating new habits starts with clarity. You must know who you want to be, not who you're afraid to be, not who others expect you to be, but the real, honest version of yourself. This clarity acts as a compass, guiding your choices when old patterns try to pull you back. It helps you recognize when you're slipping into the familiar and empowers you to choose something different, even when it feels uncomfortable or unnatural at first. Habits take time to settle, but every intentional choice strengthens your alignment with your true self. Conscious habits are born in small daily moments. It might be the habit of pausing before you react in anger, the habit of saying no when you want to say no, even if it feels risky, the habit of setting clear boundaries, expressing your truth, or taking care of your emotional health before you burn out. These acts may seem small on the surface, but they hold immense power because they begin to break the automatic cycles that have ruled your life for years. They are daily reminders that you are no longer a prisoner of your past. Creating new habits also requires patience and compassion for yourself. You won't break free overnight. You'll fall back into old patterns at times. But every time you catch yourself, every time you choose again, you weaken the hold of the old and strengthen the new. Freedom is not perfection. It's progress. It's the steady, quiet rebuilding of your life in a way that reflects your deepest values instead of your deepest fears. These new conscious habits don't just change your behavior. They transform your identity. You stop seeing yourself as a victim, a people pleaser, or someone stuck in endless cycles. You begin to see yourself as someone who chooses wisely, lives honestly, and acts with intention. And the more you live this way, the more natural it feels. The new patterns become your default, not because you forced them, but because you practiced them until they became who you are. Breaking free is about more than letting go of the past. It's about building the future with care, choice, and conscious action. When your daily habits reflect your true self, the old patterns lose their power because you are no longer feeding them. You are walking a different path, one that leads you out of the prison of the unconscious and into a life of real freedom.